Okay, in this part of this section, we're going to talk about single prints, what they are, how to apply them, what they look like on market profile charts versus candle wax charts, and then we're going to apply the umbrella theory to give you insight on how it actually looks. To wrap your mind around, like if it was an actual business that you could physically see. So, single prints form a structure that separates two distributions of time and volume, not to be confused with excess. All right. So let's talk about this in umbrella terms, and then we'll go do the charts and look at it from the market. So think of the umbrella dealer as any other salesperson that is within the wholesale market, right? So he's wholesale, so he gets the umbrellas at a cheaper price, and he sells them at a more expensive price based off of the demand and the supply, right? And he constantly has a flow of umbrellas coming in, maybe, right? So it starts raining at 9:30. From 9:30 to 12, like it's raining, right? And so now there's a huge demand for these umbrellas. So the umbrella dealer is between 9:30 to 12 o'clock in the morning. He sells his umbrellas from $10 to $13. And so during that time, he sold 100 umbrellas between the prices of $10 and $13, right? Then at 12 to 1, it stops raining. So supply opens up as his inventory starts coming to the sidewalk and starts building up of umbrellas. Like his supply opens up, right? But nobody needs an umbrella now because it's not raining. So he brings the price of the umbrella down to $5, trying to entice people to buy his umbrellas because it could rain again. Now at 1 o'clock, it starts drizzling. So he starts to see an increase in umbrella sales. But every time he raises the price up to $5 or $6, let's say, nobody buys them. So between 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's just a steady drizzle, right? And then, like during that time, he can only sell let's say 80 umbrellas between the prices of $3 and $5, right? Every time he tries to go over $5, people stop buying umbrellas from him. So now, at the end of the day, let's say it's 4 o'clock, right? He's closing up shop. He has to tally his books and figure out when were the key times he bought with the most volume. And he's gonna say from 9:30 to 12, I sold 100 umbrellas from $10 to $13, and I sold 80 more from 1 o'clock to 3, and then from 12 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I had umbrellas for sale, but no buyers, right? And that separates the two distributions. So he gets off shift. He does his changeover with the nighttime umbrella salesman. And he's like, look, from 12 to 1 o'clock in the AM, I had 5 umbrellas for sale, and I wasn't able to sell them. So hopefully you can sell them. So the nighttime umbrella salesman gets his nighttime inventory of 100 umbrellas that he has to sell for his shift, right? Plus the 5 that the daytime umbrella salesperson couldn't sell. So now he has 105 umbrellas that he has to sell. That's his whole purpose for that shift that night. So he's going to look at the weather app on his phone, and he sees that, forecast calls for rain again at 7 o'clock in the morning, but he needs to sell his stuff. So he comes up with whatever kind of story he has to, like, hey, the Weather Channel has been wrong a lot of times. There's supposed to be a huge thunderstorm at, 2 o'clock in the morning. Buy your umbrellas now. And that shifts people's mindset to buy umbrellas, right? And this is single prints to the downside. Remember, this is single prints to the downside, right? Not enough buying at the time to eat up the selling, right? Singles down means you have sellers looking for buyers. When buyers come back to those singles prints, they will buy those sell orders and attempt to move the market up to resell. All right. So don't overcomplicate this. Let's look on the chart right now. And you see right here, we have single prints to the downside. So yeah, remember, single prints to the downside means you have sellers looking for buyers. And when there's no buyers, it acts as a vacuum. So if you look between the two lines, right there where there's 3 L's and there's no letters to the right of it, those are sell orders that need buyers to come in and buy them up. Notice the volume difference between those 3 letters and everything above it and everything below it. Everything above and below has time and volume with it. This doesn't even barely has time with it. So now let's look at what single prints on to the downside looks like on a candlestick chart. So we know every seller has to have a buyer, right? So you don't include the wicks. Like wherever there's a wick that has a seller and a buyer, or a buyer and a seller within that wick, right? So you want to look at your candles and you want to identify the areas where another, like, so in this example, if you look at the 2 stars, like those are areas where there's been nothing but sellers and price hasn't returned back up to it. So those are single prints. You have sell orders there that need buyers. And then once the candle comes back up into it, or a wick comes back up into it, those orders have been taken out. So hopefully this class helps. I know there's a lot of confusion. The next one we'll talk about what single prints to the upside means and what it looks like on the charts. Later.